make a process of vlog. After identifying that the destiny material is the Destonians themselves, and where they have processed themselves into effective application, in that they are able to stand and face any accusation, anything. And my flippancy, my flippant ways, my ineptitude, my refusal to apply myself in that way. I've got excuses, I've got justifications. I'm an old person compared with some of them. I used to say to those who I believed were worth explaining something to, being that every time I ever tried to explain anything to anyone, it always backfired anyway, because people who don't want to know, so it doesn't matter how you tell them, they still ain't having it. And that's apparently obvious in this exercise recently, the time dubbed the witch trials. Which to say, I've lived a number of lives already within this life, being that I haven't consciously adopted personalities. People find a personality, they find a way of dealing with the system and hiding in the system and participating in the system's abuse of itself by themselves, abusing all life. On the road to destroying life itself, I found. I had, in fact, developed personality upon personality upon personality upon personality, which is obvious from the last 12 months vlogs. I mean, I've been having a lot of fun outpouring my comedic personalities that I have adopted at the time, allowed and accepted myself to participate within, and as to enable me to avoid adopting one personality so that I could hide within the system as the system itself. Well, we fell out in about 1971. It fell out with me actually first. It's always them first in my understanding of it, though, and that's not necessarily blame, though I must be careful that I don't adopt blame there. Though 71, it really started when I was 6 months old, and again, I'm still not willing to blame my stepmother's abuse, in inverted commas. And there's no point in me telling you I'm not looking for sympathy. Sympathy destroys you, I've found. I've been looking for sympathy from myself, sympathising with myself, to justify my self-destruction, to enable me to participate in the destruction that is wrought daily on the planet called life. Even in my flippant, hiddly-piddly, haphazard, non-applicative application of process, I know where I am, I know what I need to do, and I am not still yet applying myself correctly. That is apparently to me, and it is causing me difficulties in inverted commas. It's my problem. There's only me who can deal with it. There's only you can deal with your problems. Anybody watching it, even relating to it, don't deal with yourself. Everything you see is you. Really. It's difficult to comprehend at times. So I could give it names, terms of reference, definitions even. I'm not here to convert, to cajole. I'm here to mark down my process currently. So that's a perhaps distinction even. That's why I won't say I'm a Destonian, whilst I will obviously recommend destiny to anyone who is investigating existence and or self, which I'm not so much investigating it as interested in it. Whilst I will recommend destiny, and even more so the process. Now, I would never necessarily recommend the process. I understood why people got defensive, reacted to destiny, but I also understood why destiny did the things that caused the reactions and the defensive strategies of people. It was the only way destiny could assist those people by finding out what they were reacting to enable them, to assist them by perhaps giving them more to react to. I don't know how they deal with such things. I know how they need to discover what it is that is causing the reactions, and therefore they will cause reactions. I said to people, go to the forum, so the first thing they'll do is they'll pull you to pieces. They have to. Without doing so, they can't assist you. Though it's about self-realisation, unless you realise it yourself. You haven't realised it yourself, and it's not self-realisation, and so they won't tell you what they know about you, what they have discovered with you're reacting to them. Though it does enable them to assist you realise yourself. It would have been as effective if I had not made this vlog as making it perhaps is in my justification of my, well, smoking heroin for 10 years, injecting heroin and opiate substitutes for 10 years or more, smoking marijuana, cannabis, hashish every day, from waking to sleeping for 30 years. The residual poison intoxicating my flesh. It's been very interesting releasing it. Not as interesting as releasing the accepted and allowed personality constructs that I culturally adopted to distract myself from myself in that same time period. Though interesting no less. And the job's not done. In fact, it's probably equal to the releasing of the party's over, Anthony. It has been over for a long time. The entertainment's stopped. Finding myself being poetic, expressive, it's not good, actually. It's interesting, it's enjoyable. It's not good, really. The world doesn't run on poetry. Poetry won't light the room in the dark. Poetry won't feed me when I'm hungry. Poetry won't keep me warm and cold. Here's an example that I heard yesterday that told me all I needed to know really at this point. I was reading through my latest blog, let's call it. It's an exercise blog at demonology.co.za, and whilst I was reading through the details, I forgive myself that I have allowed myself to intoxicate myself, to poison myself, to burden myself, to justify self-pity myself. I say that I smoked a cigarette and nearly choked on it, poisoning myself with cigarette smoke, because nicotine, tar, smoke doesn't naturally run round the body, and so whatever the consequences of such an act is, it is not natural. And for someone like myself seeking to return to the state I was in when I came out of my mother's vagina, to prepare myself to leave this body, which is something I did promise myself all along, doing such a thing anywhere, doing it whilst reading that self-forgiveness line. That's how, hey, and I've smoked 20 since. That's me at this moment. That's me reflecting my previous 30 years in a day. Life's a day, moment to moment. It starts getting poetic again, Anthony. Learn, will you? You won't. Actually, there are certain aspects of understanding myself that I've not got my head around at this point. There's duality going on. There's mind demons, they might call them. It's very communicative, though it is accepted and allowed, and it's participation that I have to deal with. It's luring the mind. It could be the subconscious mind playing its lovely games. It could be many things. Is it? Was it? Where is it? I am here. Always, anywhere. Even if I don't realise that myself all the time. He says, getting poetic. Yeah, there are many things that I don't fully understand, fully comprehend, this duality, this suppressed. I found a suppressed self in there. And then I'm finding a solid self, though this suppressed self is still in there, but what I'm not sure of is whether this solid self is the suppressed self from previous, or whether the suppressed self from previous is further suppressed, and this solid self is the self that was suppressing the suppressed self. And it's duality in any case, and then there's ego and superego and id and self, and then, you know, are we all dimensional beings anywhere that are trapped in bodies, and then there are many things that I do not fully comprehend about myself even. So I don't know myself. So I don't know who I am. And if I don't know who I am, how can I know where I am? Though I do know why I am where I am. I do know how I got here. By allowing and accepting participation in that which I need to deal with now, so that I will fully process myself to effectively make a change, to create a world where all life can, will and does live with dignity equally, all life considered. An equal money system is the foundation for an equal life. That much. I see. Though the utopian in me looks forward to the day when we're explaining that the equal money system was only a best of option, because what we had before it was sufferance itself, and really we don't need money. That's me.